the senior students might want to just observe you guys. So I thought, yeah, I don't know. I didn't ask. Oh, okay. Yeah, feel free. Wherever you want to stand. Makes you feel more like you're in the firing line, though, doesn't it? Is anyone studying media?
No, we don't. I don't think we do have anyone yet. Yeah, we used to a couple of years back.
Oh, hi. You guys stand wherever you like, wherever you like. You'll be able to hear from wherever you are, I imagine. I'll project. Guys, stand. Come on in. Come on in.
Huh?
You can stand wherever you like. Yeah, no, you won't. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, okay. It's fine. If you guys want to stand in the back as well, you just stand wherever you like.
The camera's not that big.
Okay.
You fellas are a bit too tall to be standing in the front. Oh shit, now I'm behind you.
Okay, so the one downside is unfortunately.
Yes.
Well, look, the primary reason that we're here today is to announce that with the additional $10 million that we'll be putting into the state sector decarbonisation work, it will especially go towards removing coal boilers from schools across New Zealand. This additional funding means that we're now in the position by 2025 to remove all coal boilers from our education system across the country. That's a really important milestone. I think it's incredibly important that we as a government do our bit by removing fossil fuels from the state sector. And what better place to make sure we're doing that than in the education facilities where young people are driving us to take climate action.
Do you have any memories of coal boilers at your schools?
I certainly have memories across my time in schools of a range of ways that we used to heat our schools. Some were certainly part of the kind of programs that we're looking to decommission now, and that'll be the case across the country. We do need to modernise our infrastructure. We need to make sure we're using efficient means of heating our schools, make sure we're looking after the health of our young people, but also we're doing it in a way that is future-proof. Coal boilers have no place in our future in New Zealand. It's time to start removing them so that we can live by what we're promoting globally, and that is to get in front of climate change.
Indeed, and so this will help coal boilers, but also a lot of diesel boilers out there as well. When will we be taking those next steps to get rid of those?
So part of our work is about the decarbonisation of the state sector, and of course that's in many forms. It's right through to the way that we heat our infrastructure, so that includes in our hospitals, to make sure that we are using climate-friendly means, but also even our government fleet. Making sure that we're moving towards more fuel-efficient and low-emissions vehicles. So it's in every aspect of the way we operate as a government as part of our work to decarbonise as a public sector.
And Prime Minister, part of that was 45 police cars being electric. Could you speak a little bit about on that?
You'll see across the investment that's being made today announcements that cover the government fleet across many areas. So yes, police, but other public servants who do need the ability to move around the country. We are progressively working to replace those vehicles that are ready for replacement with fuel-efficient and electric vehicles. A couple of reasons why it's important that the government makes this early move. One, to walk the talk, but another, we are the provider often of second-hand vehicles into the market. When we purchase and lease these new vehicles, it means that down the track, available to a wider range of New Zealanders are second-hand EVs. We need to build that market so that there are cheaper options for all New Zealanders.
As well as obviously the environmental impact on that. For police, one of their biggest costs is petrol.
Yes.
How do you hope that might free up some money there that could be used in other areas?
This is one of the challenges. I think when many households are considering a future vehicle purchase, at the moment there is a high upfront cost Two things we can do is that we can help bring down that upfront cost, and you'll see that with the rebate scheme that we have at the moment to make it cheaper to buy that first car. But then trying to encourage people to look at the lifetime cost of a vehicle, because ultimately an EV is better on your pocket and for the environment. We just need to get to support people to make that first step.
This looked like quite a lengthy operation behind us here to get that boiler out of the way.
Yeah.
How many do you have to get rid of, and how long is it going to take?
One of the things that surprised me from the beginning of this piece of work is how expensive the removal of coal boilers across our education network is. It's millions of dollars. Often there are associated issues, for instance, in this case, asbestos as well. So it is a significant operation, and for many schools, they'll have a number of priorities, and the removal of the coal boiler often is just dropping down the list. So this is a way that we can speed that up. I'll give you the numbers on how many are removed, because this is the second tranche of funding.
Is the money for the removing of the boilers only, or are schools also getting help to find another
Here,
because coal is cheap?
yeah.
What are schools going to use instead?
Look here, this is an example of a school that's already started making that transition to new forms of heating and have already done so. And you can see with the combination of solar power here, they're really trying to complete the picture and drive towards themselves as a school being zero carbon. But of course, we need to support the whole picture here. It's the coal boiler, it's helping to decommission the space. It's hundreds of thousands.
Was the 10 million new money, or was it already earmarked?
So this is a budget announcement that we're making today. Okay, any other questions? Go ahead.
Yes, first of all, as a woman in leadership, how did you feel about the comments made toward Nadia Lim yesterday by Simon Henry?
Actually, regardless of what position I'm in, for me it was just seeing them as a human. And when I saw those comments, not only does that do a complete disservice to Nadia herself, but I imagine it would have been insulting to all women. Ultimately, the success of Nadia Lim speaks for itself.
Minister, as you might know, 500 beds in hospital wings and aged care system has been closed since the beginning of the year. We've been talking to a few people that have to move their parents in relatives to other home care because of that. And they say the biggest problem is because the nurse, apart from the nursing shortage, the nurses also go to the GHBs because they feel wonder if that will be discussed in the budget meeting. Yeah.
Health workforce issues have been a huge priority for us and a significant issue for us since we took office. We have a global shortage of nursing staff. It's not just New Zealand experiencing this. This is a global problem. So it means that we are competing globally as well. At the moment, we have funded 3,000 places for nurses that we need to try and fill. One way we can try and make sure that we are recruiting and attracting people into nursing here in New Zealand is through ensuring they have better pay. For the average nurse, their pay has increased by about 20% since we took office because they have been underpaid, and we needed to fix that. But we also need to try and attract more nurses into New Zealand too, because we won't solve the problem overnight just here in New Zealand. We have created space through our visa program and immigration, and now we are continuing with an international program to attract more nurses into New Zealand.
Where are we at with sending nurse to Shons?
Yeah, so you'll see globally this has been an issue that's been considered by many countries. The issue is that Pfizer hasn't been submitting data anymore for additional boosters. Individual countries have been undertaking their own assessment. So we expect to receive further evidence and advice from the Ministry of Health shortly.
Timeframe?
It won't be months. We expect to see it in relatively soon. We all have our minds on winter. And of course, we want to make sure that we're in the best possible position to prepare for that. My message now would be, if you haven't already been boosted, please do. And if you haven't had your flu shot, please do. Our biggest concern is that it won't just be COVID that hits us this winter, but with our borders opening, the potential of flu and respiratory illnesses like RSV could hit us hard. Yep.
Prime Minister, are you going to partake in Rotuman Language Week at all next week?
Yeah, well, you've seen the tradition that we've started to integrate the celebration of Pacific languages into Parliament, and I expect that will happen next week as well. We have had a real focus as a government on not just investing in Pacifica languages, but acknowledging that we have a guardianship role as a nation within the Pacific, but also as home to many Pacific nations, to make sure that we're doing our part to foster, support and grow those languages. Okay, last one.
Thank you. Can I bring you back to cars again? Would you like, or can you, extend the fuel cost relief that you've got in force at the moment? It's only temporary.
Yeah.
Any thoughts at this stage that it's going to keep on going?
Yeah, we are in such an uncertain environment at the moment. We can see globally the impact that the Ukraine war is having on fuel prices and the way that's impacted people at the pump. We did, of course, put in place that 25-cent reduction per litre at the pump and make changes to RUC charges to try and ease some of that impact on New Zealanders every day. We put it down for 3 months, as we did the 50% discount on public transport, because of the uncertainty that exists. We just don't know what the future holds for this war and the impact it will have on us, but we hope these short-term measures try and ease that pressure for now.
Could it be extended?
Again, we've said that what we'll look to is just where we are in several months' time. But again, we've taken that shorter-term approach simply because of the uncertain environment that New Zealand is in, alongside other nations, with the war in Europe. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.